Look at you, I told you not to walk into my party in that dirty wrapper. Do you want my friends to think I hired you from the village market? In this house, you are not Mama Tunde. You are cleaner. Mommy ends where the village does. Respect yourself.
I cannot stay married to a woman who humiliates my mother like an enemy. From today, you will pack your things and go back to your father's house.
African Karma Stories.
The Lagos evening hummed outside the apartment building. Horns blared on the expressway. Generators rumbled in the distance, and faint Afrobeats leaked from a neighbor's speaker. Inside apartment 4B, the music was louder, the laughter sharper. Sade's soft life birthday party was in full swing. Perfume, fried chicken, and champagne mixed in the air. But in the corridor, the front door opened quietly. Tunde stepped inside, briefcase still in hand, the smell of office AC and stress clinging to his shirt. He frowned. He wasn't supposed to be home yet. The meeting had finished hours earlier than planned. From the living room ahead, he heard his wife's voice. At first, he thought she was joking with friends. Then he heard the words clearly. "Look at you," Sade snapped. "I told you not to walk into my party in that dirty wrapper. Do you want my friends to think I hired you from the village market?" Tunde's heart skipped. He moved silently down the corridor, stopping just where the wall ended. From there, he could see into the living room without being seen. Mama Tunde knelt on the tiled floor, clutching an empty plastic cup to her chest. Her faded Ankara wrapper clung to her thin frame. Tears glistened on her wrinkled cheeks. I'm sorry, my daughter," she whispered. "I was only looking for small water. The room was hot." Sade towered over her in a tight red dress, heels clicking with every angry step. "Shut up," Sade hissed. "How many times have I told you? When my guests are here, you stay inside that room. You are not my mother. You are a house help that refused to retire." A few guests shifted uncomfortably. Others held their phones low, some secretly recording. One girl giggled nervously. Sade grabbed the old woman's headscarf and yanked it off, tossing it onto the sofa. "Look at your hair," she sneered. "You want to disgrace me? In this Lagos, everybody is watching. I will not let one illiterate village woman destroy my brand." Mama Tunde's shoulders shook. "Tunde's friends are also my children," she said weakly. "I thought—" The slap came fast. Sade's hand cracked across the old woman's cheek. The cup flew from her hand and rolled across the floor. Gasps filled the room. "Don't ever call my husband's rich friends your children again," Sade spat. "You and that your village accent will remain in your room. That is if I even allow you to stay in this house after tonight." From the corridor, Tunde's fingers tightened around the briefcase handle. For a moment, the noise of the party faded. All he could hear was the ringing echo of the slap and his mother's soft, broken sob. He took one slow step forward, jaw clenched, eyes dark. Sade didn't know it yet, but the man she thought she could fool forever had just heard her true voice.
Some weeks earlier, the same apartment woke up to a quieter morning. Sunlight pushed through thin curtains, painting rectangles on the floor. In the kitchen, the smell of frying eggs and fresh bread filled the air. Sade stood at the kitchen counter in a silk robe, phone propped up against the jar. The camera faced her perfectly plated breakfast: avocado toast, scrambled eggs, freshly squeezed orange juice. "Good morning, my loves," she said sweetly into the lens. "Soft life only. When your man works hard, your breakfast must match his bank account." Behind her, Mama Tunde shuffled in wearing a simple wrapper and old t-shirt. She carried a small pot of pap she'd made for herself. "Good morning, Sade," she smiled. "Do you want pap? It's fresh." Sade glanced at the camera screen and hissed, cutting the recording. "Mama, abeg, step back," she said sharply. "You almost entered my frame without your village singlet. My followers don't need to see that." Mama Tunde froze, the smile fading. "Ah, sorry," she murmured. "I didn't know you were doing your video." Sade sighed dramatically, pressing pause on the phone. "If you want to help, help quietly," she added. "Don't come and scatter my brand with wrapper and hairnet." "Yes, my daughter," Mama whispered. She turned to leave. "And close the kitchen door when you go," Sade called after her. "The background must be clean." The old woman obeyed, gently nudging the door shut behind her. Shade turned the camera back on. Her face transformed instantly into a bright, charming smile. As I was saying, she cooed to her followers, some of us are too blessed to be stressed. No one in her comments would see the woman just outside the frame, holding a pot of pap and swallowing her hurt.
Later that morning, the dining table gleamed with polished cutlery. Tunde sat at the head, dressed in a crisp shirt and tie, laptop bag leaning against his chair. Shade set down a plate of toast and eggs in front of him with a sweet smile. "Baby, taste and confirm that you married well," she teased. He laughed, as if there was ever a doubt. Mama Tunde emerged from the kitchen, carrying a small plate of yam and stew for herself. "Tunde, my son, good morning," she greeted, lovingly patting his shoulder. "Good morning, Mama," he replied, kissing the back of her hand. "Come and sit here." He pulled out a chair beside him. "Oh no," Shade jumped in quickly, still smiling. "Mama said she prefers to eat in the kitchen. She says the chairs here are too soft for her back, isn't it, Mama?" Her eyes locked with Mama's, a silent warning buried under the sugary tone. Mama hesitated, feeling the weight of that gaze. Yes, I'm used to bench," she said quietly. "You young people, your chairs are like sponge. They swallow old women." Tunde chuckled, not noticing the tightness in her voice. "You see," he said proudly, "my wife pays attention. She even knows the kind of chair my mother likes." Shade placed a glass of juice in front of him, leaning close. "Your mother is my mother now. I will always take care of her." Mama Tunde forced a small smile and retreated toward the kitchen with her plate. As she reached the doorway, she glanced back once. Her son looked happy. For now, that was all that mattered. She closed the kitchen door softly, hiding her sadness behind the clatter of plates. The moment Tunde left for work, the atmosphere shifted. The front door clicked shut, and his footsteps faded down the stairwell. Shade dropped her smile like a mask. "Finally," she muttered, kicking off her slippers. In the tiny corridor near the kitchen, Mama Tunde stood, carefully washing Tunde's favorite mug. Shade stormed in, snatching the cup from her hands. "How many times have I told you?" she snapped. "Leave these ones. They are breakable. If you smash one, can you buy it?" "I was just helping," Mama replied softly. "You cooked, you served. I didn't want you to do everything alone." Shade folded her arms. "Helping?" she scoffed. "The only help I need is for you to stay out of my way." Her eyes swept down Mama's faded wrapper. "And stop walking around the house like we are in the village compound. This is Lekki, not Ogbomosho." The moment Tunde left for work, the atmosphere shifted. The front door clicked shut, and his footsteps faded down the stairwell. Shade dropped her smile like a mask. "Finally," she muttered, kicking off her slippers. In the tiny corridor near the kitchen, Mama Tunde stood, carefully washing Tunde's favorite mug. Shade stormed in, snatching the cup from her hands. "How many times have I told you?" she snapped. "Leave these ones. They are breakable. If you smash one, can you buy it?" "I was just helping," Mama replied softly. "You cooked, you served. I didn't want you to do everything alone." Shade folded her arms. "Helping?" she scoffed. "The only help I need is for you to stay out of my way." Her eyes swept down Mama's faded wrapper. "And stop walking around the house like we are in the village compound. This is Lekki, not Ogbomosho. My friends can come anytime. If they see you like this, they would think I am doing charity work." Mama lowered her gaze. "I can stay in my room when they come," she said. "Just call me if you need anything." Shade laughed coldly. "I won't," she replied, "because I don't want my friends asking, 'Shade, why does your help eat on the same table as you?'" She leaned in closer, voice dropping to a venomous whisper. "In this house, you are not Mama Tunde. You are cleaner," she said. "Mommy ends where the village does. Respect yourself." The words sliced deeper than any slap. Mama's fingers tightened around the wet dishcloth. "I hear you," she whispered. Shade straightened, satisfied. "Good. Wipe the sitting room. Mrs. Ogun's daughter is coming later. I don't want any smell of palm oil near my couch." She sashayed away, humming along to a song on her phone. Behind her, An old woman's shoulders sagged under the weight of a new name, one she had never thought would follow her into her own son's home.
Years earlier, Lagos had looked very different to Tunde. Back then, it was not glass towers and rooftop bars. It was endless lines of traffic, roaring downfalls, and the taste of dust on his tongue. The scene shifts to a busy roadside at dawn. The sky is still pale, the air cool but promising heat. A younger Mama Tunde balances a blue cooler on her head, steam leaking from the edges. On her arm hangs a small basin of bread. Little Tunde, no more than 10, walks beside her, his school uniform slightly oversized, shoes scuffed but polished. "Auntie, hot akara, hot bread," Mama calls out, voice strong despite the early hour. "Start your morning well." Cars slow. Hands reach out with crumpled notes. She moves quickly between vehicles, dodging puddles and exhaust fumes. "Tunde, stay close," she warns. "Lagos Road doesn't have respect." He nods, clutching a small plastic bag of change. "After this, I will still get to school on time?" he asks, worried. "Of course," she lies cheerfully. "Your legs are faster than poverty." He grins, chest puffing out at the compliment. Hours later, under a sun that felt like it was hanging just above their heads, she finally sells the last piece of akara. Her feet ache, her back burns, but she smiles as she counts the money. In a small corner shop, she pays for Tunde's exercise books and buys a second-hand tie from a hanger, smoothing it proudly. "Tomorrow, you will look like the sons of rich men," she tells him, "except yours will know the price of every page he writes on." He laughs, hugging her waist, unaware of how many meals she skipped to make that joke possible.
Night wraps itself around their tiny one-room apartment like a thin blanket. Rain drums loudly on the zinc roof, leaking through multiple holes. Buckets and bowls line the floor, catching water with soft plinks. Mama Tunde sits on the edge of their only bed, sorting small notes and coins on a tray. Her fingers move slowly, lips counting under her breath. "Rent, school fees, food," she murmurs. "Two can only cover one." Tunde, a gangly teenager now, sleeps on the mattress, his exercise book still open beside him, lips moving silently as if he is solving maths problems in his dreams. She sighs, looking at him, then at the small tin box under the bed. She pulls it out gently. Inside lies her last treasure, a thin gold wedding ring and one beautiful Ero and Booba her late husband bought years ago. She touches the fabric, memories rising like smoke. "Our son," she whispers into the quiet. "If he stops school now, everything you suffered for dies." The next morning, under a gray sky, she stands in front of a pawn shop, ring and cloth in hand. Her eyes sting, not from the bargaining, but from the symbolic weight of what she is trading. When she emerges, she holds a small envelope of cash. It is enough for Tunde's exams and a part of the rent. Her own needs do not make the list. That evening, the landlord knocks. "Madame, this your boy," he grumbles. "If you can't pay, I'll rent the room to someone else." She presses the money into his palm with a steady gaze. "He will finish school," she says firmly, "even if I have to sleep in the market." The landlord scoffs but takes the money. In the corner, Tunde hears every word, his child's heart twisting with both guilt and gratitude. One day, he promises himself, he will build her a house where rain never enters, where no landlord ever knocks. He will keep that promise, but he will forget to control who else he lets into that house.
Years flip forward like fast-turning pages. The small apartment is older. Tunde is gone to university. The room feels quieter, but one thing remains. The old TV in the corner, its screen slightly warped but still working. A group of neighbors crowd in front of it one evening, plastic chairs squeezed around the flickering box. The 7 p.m. news theme song plays. "And in business tonight," the presenter announces, "a young Nigerian tech entrepreneur is making waves in the fintech industry." A photo appears on screen.
Tunde, now in his late 20s, wearing a suit, shaking hands with foreign investors. His smile is wide, confident. Mama Tunde gasps, hand flying to her mouth. "That's my son!" she cries, half standing from her chair. "That's my Tunde!" Neighbors clap her back, some laughing, some genuinely proud. "Ah, Mama Tunde, you did well, oh," one says. "All those akara you sold have turned to millions." She wipes tears away with the edge of her wrapper, heart swelling so big she thinks it might burst. "God, you have done it," she whispers. "You have turned my sweat into light." Later, alone in the room, she takes an old picture of little Tunde in his first school uniform and presses it against the TV screen, aligning it with the grown man's smiling face. "One day," she murmurs, "I will sit in your big house and eat without worrying about tomorrow." She doesn't know that the house is coming. She doesn't know what waits inside it.
Back in the present, the living room of Tunde's Lekki apartment glows with soft warm light from a ring lamp. Shade positions her phone carefully on a tripod, angling it to include the plush sofa and the stylish wall art behind her. She smooths her hair, adjusts her blouse, and pastes on a bright smile. "Mama," she calls sweetly, "come, let's make content." Mama Tunde pokes her head out from the corridor, wiping her hands on a towel. "Content?" she asks, confused. "Is it food?" Shade laughs musically. "Just come and see it," she says. "My followers want to see that I take care of my mother-in-law." Mama approaches slowly, unsure. Shade pulls her down beside her on the sofa. "Put your arm around me," Shade directs. "Look like you're happy, okay?" The phone records as Shade speaks to her audience. "Guys, meet my sweet mama-in-law," she coos. "She helped raise the love of my life. In this house, we respect our elders." She kisses Mama on the cheek for the camera. Mama blushes, shy but pleased. Shade stops recording, drops her smile, and immediately wipes her lipstick mark off Mama's skin with a tissue. "Thank you. You can go now," she says briskly. "I need to edit." Mama blinks. "That's all?" she asks. "Yes, now," Shade replies, already scrolling through filters. "The video is not for you, it's for Instagram. Go and finish cleaning the bathroom, abeg, and hide that your old slippers. They keep appearing in my background." As Mama walks away, the caption Shade types glows on the screen. "Taking care of my mother-in-law like the queen she is. Not everyone can relate." Likes begin to pour in. Not one of them knows that the queen goes back to scrubbing tiles with aching knees, while the princess counts views.
One hot afternoon, Shade drags Mama Tunde along to a nearby supermarket. "Mama, hurry," she urges, walking fast in tight jeans and high heels. "You balk like Lagos traffic." Mama chuckles. "These your shoes," she says. "They will kill you one day. If you wore proper slippers—" "I beg, don't embarrass me," Shade snaps. "Hold this basket and keep quiet." Inside the supermarket, air conditioning washes over them. Shade moves confidently between aisles, picking imported cereal, fancy juices, body scrubs with French names. Near the dairy section, they run into one of Shade's friends, Anita, hair laid, nails long, designer handbag hanging from her elbow. "Shade, baby," Anita squeals, hugging her. "You look hot, girl." "You know, nah," Shade laughs. "Anita, meet, She glances at Mama, quickly calculating. Anita's eyes slide over the older woman's worn sandals and simple wrapper, lingering slightly on the faded headscarf. "This is the woman helping me at home," Shade says lightly. "She's the one that makes sure my house is neat." Mama's hands tighten on the basket handle. "Good afternoon," she says politely. Anita gives a small nod. "Good afternoon, Ma." As they walk away, Shade leans in to whisper. "See now," she hisses, "if I told her you my mother-in-law, she would think I'm married into poverty. Do you want that?" Mama swallows hard. I am sorry," she says. "I didn't know I was causing shame." "Then learn," Shade retorts. "Walk behind me, and if anyone asks, you are our house help, not my husband's mother." The words sting like pepper in Mama's eyes. She stares down at the floor tiles, watching her own footsteps follow Shade's high heels like a shadow that doesn't know where it belongs.
That night, after dinner, Tunde and Shade lie on their bed. The ceiling fan spins lazily, stirring the warm air. Tunde scrolls through emails on his phone, but his mind drifts back to the supermarket. He hadn't liked the way his mother had been so quiet when he came home. "Babe," he says, lowering the phone, "is Mama okay? She looked withdrawn today." Shade sighs, rolling onto her back. "Honestly, I don't know what to do again," she says, sounding exhausted. "I'm trying my best, but she's always moody." Tunde frowns. "Moody? What happened?" "She doesn't like Lagos," Shade replies quickly. "She complains about the noise, the food, the neighbors. Sometimes I catch her crying. When I ask, she says she misses the village." Tunde's chest tightens with guilt. "I knew this would be hard for her," he mutters. "I just wanted her to enjoy life after all those years of suffering." "I know," Shade says, stroking his arm. "And I want the same thing. That's why I'm patient. I include her in my videos, I cook her special meals. But when she acts sad, people might think I'm a bad wife." He turns to her, touched. "You are not," he says firmly. "You've been amazing. Thank you for putting up with her moods. Maybe I should talk to her." Shade shakes her head, eyes wide, as if deeply concerned. "Don't," she cautions. "She'll think we're ganging up on her. Old people are sensitive. Just give her time. I'll continue loving her until she adjusts." Tunde kisses her forehead. "You are a good woman," he whispers. "My mother is lucky to have you." In the small room at the end of the corridor, Mama Tunde lies awake, staring at the ceiling, wiping silent tears with the edge of her wrapper. If she knew the story being told about her, the pain in her chest would double. A few days later, the smell of egusi soup fills the apartment. Shade sets the dining table with care. Placemats, cutlery, 2 plates of steaming food, 2 glasses of chilled juice. Soft music plays from the Bluetooth speaker. Tunde enters, smiling. Something smells good," he says. Shade beams. "Only the best for my hard-working man," she replies. "Sit, let's eat quickly before the traffic in your stomach starts." They sit facing each other. Tunde glances toward the corridor. "Where's Mama?" he asks. "Call her to join us." Shade's smile doesn't falter. "She already ate," she lies smoothly. "She said she's full and wants to sleep early." In the small, stuffy kitchen, Mama Tunde sits on a low stool, balancing a chipped plate of gari and groundnut on her knees. The only light comes from a single warm bulb. She scoops the gari with her fingers, dipping it in the small soup she saved from the pot. From the dining room, faint laughter drifts in. "Baby, do you remember our first date?" Shade says loudly, just enough for Mama to hear. "We ate in that fancy restaurant on the island, not in front of kerosene stove like some people." Tunde laughs. "Of course," he replies. Mama holds her breath for a moment, listening, wondering if he will ask again about her. He doesn't. She chews quietly, the taste of gari dry in her mouth, washing it down with warm tap water. The house that was meant to be her rest has become a place where she hides to eat. Later that night, the apartment is dark and still. Mama Tunde leaves her room quietly, cup in hand, heading to the sink for water. Her old slippers slap gently against the tiles. Shade steps out to the bedroom at the same moment, wrapped in a satin robe, face free of makeup but eyes sharp. They nearly collide in the corridor. "Ah, Shade, sorry," Mama murmurs. "I didn't know you were there." Shade crosses her arms. "What are you doing creeping around at this time?" she demands. "Trying to eavesdrop on my bedroom." Mama's eyes widen in shock. "God forbid," she gasps. "I only wanted water. The fan in my room is noisy. I couldn't sleep." Shade moves closer, voice low and dangerous. "Listen carefully," she says. "I have tolerated you because of my husband, but there are limits." She jabs a finger toward Mama's chest. "When my friends come, you stay in your room. When I am talking to neighbors, you keep your village stories to yourself. If I hear that you have discussed our marriage or my behavior with anyone, I will make sure Tunde send you back to that your mud house." Mama clutches the cup tightly, knuckles pale. "I would never spoil my son's home," she whispers, even if my heart bleeds." Shade smacks. "Good. Keep your bleeding heart on your pillow. What happens between me and my husband is not your concern. You raised him. I own him now." The words land like blows. Mama lowers her head. "I hear you, my daughter," she says. She shuffles back to her room, forgetting the water. Shade watches her go, satisfied. forgetting that the same God who hears the prayers of city queens also hears the muffled cries of village mothers. In the small box room that serves as her bedroom, Mama Tunde kneels on a thin mat. The room is barely big enough for a bed and a narrow wardrobe. A small framed picture of Tunde in his NYSC uniform hangs crookedly on the wall. A dim bulb throws soft shadows across her bent back. "Father in heaven," she whispers, hands clasped tightly. "You see what I see. You hear what I hear, but my son does not." Her voice trembles. "If I speak, his home will scatter. People will say I am the wicked mother-in-law who drove his wife away. They will forget the Akara years and remember only the quarrels." Tears drip onto the mat. "So I keep quiet," she continues, "but my heart is heavy. Please don't let me die with bitterness. Don't let this woman's words turn me against my own child." She inhales shakily. "And Lord," she adds, wiping her face, "if I am the trouble in this house, if my presence is blocking their blessing, show me. I am ready to go back to my small room in the old area. I will survive. I have done it before." She sits back on her heels, exhausted. From the next room, Tunde's muffled laughter filters through the thin wall as Shade shows him something on her phone. Mama closes her eyes. "Protect my son," she says softly. "Open his eyes when the time is right." She does not pray for revenge. She prays for revelation, and heaven listens. A week later, the living room buzzes with new energy. Shade paces back and forth, gesturing excitedly as she speaks into her phone on speaker. "Yes, Kola, it must be loud," she says. "I want ring lights everywhere. Hashtag soft life with Shade. This birthday party will shut down Instagram." Her cousin Kola laughs on the other end. "No wahala," he replies. "I'll bring my camera. Content will flow." She ends the call and turns to Mama Tunde, who is dusting the TV stand. "Mama, on Saturday, important people are coming," Shade announces. "Influencers, my office people, some potential clients. The house must sparkle. No smell of onions anywhere." Mama nods. "I will wash everything," she says. "I can cook too. Jollof, fried rice, anything you want." Shade wrinkles her nose. "Cook?" she scoffs. "Please, we are not doing village naming ceremony. Caterer is bringing small chops and designer cake. Your own is to clean and stay out of the camera. This party is strictly for class people." Tunde enters, loosening his tie. "Party?" he asks, smiling. "What are we celebrating again?" Shade wraps an arm around his waist. "Your wife's greatness, of course," she teases. "My birthday now, you promised to come after your presentation." He nods. "I'll be there," he assures her. "Just make sure Mama feels included, okay? She loves parties." Shade's smile stiffens for a second, then smooths. "Of course," she says. "She's the reason we're even celebrating. Without her raising you, who would I have married?" Tunde chuckles, satisfied. "See why I say I married a good woman," he tells Mama. Mama forces a smile. "Yes," she agrees quietly. "God bless you, my daughter." Shade hugs Tunde tighter, but as she glances over his shoulder at Mama, her eyes harden. In her mind, the guest list does not include wrinkled faces or faded wrappers, and she's determined to keep it that way. Saturday arrives with harsh sunshine and a restless breeze. Inside the apartment, it is chaos. Boxes of soft drinks clutter the kitchen, balloons wait in bags, speakers, cables, and lights lie scattered as Kola and a few helpers set up for the evening. In the middle of it all, Mama Tunde scrubs the floor on her knees, sweat beading on her forehead. "Hurry, Mama," Shadi orders, standing over her in leggings and a crop top. "Guests will start coming by 6. That corner is still dirty. You think ring light will hide your stain?" "My knees," Mama begins softly. Shade rolls her eyes. "If your knees are paining you, sit down and let me tell Tunde you are too old to stay here," she snaps. "Maybe he will build you a small hut behind the house." Mama bites her lip. "I will finish," she murmurs, bending lower. Kola walks past with a camera tripod, smacking. "Auntie Shade, this your work at the sofa," he jokes. "Make we film before and after cleaning video." Shade laughs. Let her walk, she replies. Free exercise. Later, in the small bedroom, Mama irons Shadi's dress, careful not to scorch the expensive fabric. Shadi stands beside her, admiring herself in the mirror. You know, Shadi says casually, if you embarrass me tonight, I won't forgive you. No coughing, no shouting praise the Lord when the DJ is playing. In fact, you will stay in your room till the party is over. Mama's heart sinks. I thought, she starts, I thought I could sit in one corner and just watch you enjoy. I've never been to such party before. Shadi snatches the dress from her. You will watch from your window, she snaps, where your wrapper won't appear in anybody's Insta story. The words hit as hard as the labor had. Mama lowers the iron, staring at the board as if her dreams had just been pressed flat like the cloth. Evening creeps in, painting the sky orange. The living room transforms. Fairy lights twinkle around the TV. A happy birthday shade banner hangs crookedly but proudly. The air smells of fried chicken, samosas, and chilled wine. Guests begin to arrive, laughing and hugging, phones already out, capturing every angle. In her small room, Mama Tunde stares at herself in a cracked mirror. She has changed into her best wrapper, the one she saved from Tunde's wedding. She has tied her headscarf neatly and dabbed a little powder on her face. Her heart flutters with nervous excitement. Maybe Shade has changed her mind. Maybe she will let her sit quietly at the back. She steps out of the room, moving toward the living room. Shade appears instantly, blocking her path. Where are you going? Shade demands, eyes sweeping over Mama's clothes. I wanted to greet the guests, Mama says. Just small time, then I will come back inside. Shade's laugh is short and cruel. Greet which guests? She scoffs. These are not your village women from church. They are my brand partners. You think they came here to see you? She places a hand on the old woman's chest and gently but firmly pushes her back into the room. You will stay here and pray for us, Shade says coldly. That is your ministry tonight. Pray that the party goes viral. My daughter, please, Mama stammers. Just let me see small. I help scrub everywhere. Shade's eyes flash. Exactly, she snaps. You have done your part. Cleaner. Party over for you. She slams the door and twists the key in the lock from outside. Mama stares at the closed door, confusion and hurt crowding her chest. She hears the muffled thump of music starting, the cheer of guests, Cola shouting action. She sinks slowly onto the edge of the bed, eyes burning. In her hands, she clenches the paper wrapper from a small gift she had planned to give Shade, a simple necklace she saved for from the market. Outside, laughter rises. Inside, an old woman sits alone, locked away like a forgotten piece of furniture. Back in the corridor, Kola fiddles with his camera, checking settings. He passes Mama's closed door and pauses. He thinks he hears something. A faint sniff, a muffled cough. He tries the handle, locked. He shrugs, then remembers the earlier scene in the afternoon. Shade shouting, Mama kneeling. Content go choke today, he mutters, pulling out his phone. He leans closer to the door, holding the phone discreetly near the keyhole. He doesn't get much, just a blurred video of the door and the distant sound of Mama murmuring a prayer. Still, something doesn't sit right. Later, as he stands near the kitchen filming Shade showing off the cake, he keeps one eye on the corridor. He is no hero, but he has a nose for drama, and tonight, the scent is strong. Night falls completely, bringing with it the full electricity of Lagos. The living room pulses with music now. Guests dance, glasses clink. Someone shouts, Shade, turn around, let me see your dress. She twirls, laughing, basking in the camera flashes and compliments. Soft life only, she yells, striking a pose. Kola circles the room with his camera, occasionally turning to record himself for vlogs. Guys, you can see the vibe, he says into the lens. Big girl Shade know they carry last. Waiters squeeze between guests with trays of small chops. The air is thick with perfume and sweat. Shade, where's your husband? One colleague jokes. If he misses this party, we'll borrow him cents. He's on his way, Shade replies, tossing her hair.
Big deals don't sign themselves, but even if it doesn't come, you know I can party alone. Another guest, already tipsy, raises her glass. "Abeg, where's your mom-in-law?" she giggles. "We saw her in your videos. That woman is a vibe. She should dance shaku shaku for us." Sade's smile stiffens. She's resting, she lies smoothly. Her health is delicate. Crowds make her dizzy. I told her to sleep. I take care of her every day. "Aw," the guests coo. "You're such a good daughter-in-law." Sade soaks in the praise like sunlight. Dozens of phones capture her kindness. None record the locked door down the corridor.
In the small room, the heat grows unbearable. Mama Tunde wipes her face with the edge of her wrapper. The ceiling fan squeaks but moves slowly, barely stirring the air. Her throat feels dry. She hesitates, then stands and presses her ear to the door. The music outside pounds, almost shaking the frame. She twists the knob gently. It turns. Shade had forgotten to lock it properly after all. Mama peeks into the corridor. No one is there. She steps out quietly, clutching an empty plastic cup. Her plan is simple. Slip to the kitchen tap, drink water, and return before anyone notices. She moves like a shadow, keeping close to the wall. As she nears the living room entrance, laughter crashes over her like a wave. She peeks around the corner. In the small room, the heat grows unbearable. Mama Tunde wipes her face with the edge of her wrapper. The ceiling fan squeaks but moves slowly, barely stirring the air. Her throat feels dry. She hesitates, then stands and presses her ear to the door. The music outside pounds, almost shaking the frame. She twists the knob gently. It turns. Shade had forgotten to lock it properly after all. Mama peeks into the corridor. No one is there. She steps out quietly, clutching an empty plastic cup. Her plan is simple. Slip to the kitchen tap, drink water, and return before anyone notices. She moves like a shadow, keeping close to the wall. As she nears the living room entrance, laughter crashes over her like a wave. She peeks around the corner. Dozens of young, stylish people dance and record themselves. Colored lights flash. Shade stands on the center table leading a toast. "To more money, more brand deals, and more soft life," she shouts. The room erupts in cheers. Mama smiles faintly despite herself, heart swelling with a complicated mix of pride and sadness. She takes one tiny step into the edge of the room. A drunk guest notices her and calls out playfully, "Hey, Mama!" He laughs. "Come and dance for us! Shade, your content queen has arrived!" Several heads turn. Shade follows their gaze. Time slows. Her eyes lock onto Mama's thin frame standing at the doorway, cup clutched like a shield, old wrapper bright under the LED lights. Her smile dies.
The music seems to fade, replaced by a high ringing in Shade's ears. She jumps down from the table, heels hitting the floor hard, and storms across the room. "Mama!" she hisses through gritted teeth, grabbing the old woman's elbow. "What are you doing here?" Mama flinches at the strength of her grip. I only wanted small water," she stammers. "The room is hot. I will go back now." Shade snatches the cup from her and flings it aside. It skitters across the tiles, spinning until it stops at Colla's feet. "You want to disgrace me?" Shade snaps, voice rising. "Did I not tell you to stay in your room?" Some guests chuckle awkwardly. Others fall silent, sensing trouble. Phones begin to lift subtly, recording. "My daughter, please," Mama whispers. "Let me greet your friends. I will not stay long." Shade's eyes blaze. "Greet who?" she shouts. "People that flew in from Abuja, from London? You think they came here to see your torn wrapper? Look at your feet. You didn't even wear slippers. Do you know how many millions are standing in this room?" Tears well in Mama's eyes. "I am sorry," she says again. "Forgive me." Shade pushes her, hard enough that the old woman stumbles and falls to her knees. A collective gasp ripples through the crowd. "From today," Shade continues, voice shaking with fury, "you will never step into my living room when I have guests. Do you hear me? You are a filthy village woman. You belong in the backyard, not in my Instagram story." She raises her hand. Before Mama can react, the slap crashes across her cheek, loud in the stunned silence. Mama's head snaps to the side. Her headscarf slips and falls. The room freezes. Kola's phone captures everything, the words, the smack, the tears. One girl mutters, Shade, take her easy now. Shade whirls on her. Do you know who she is? She demands. She is not my mother. She is staff. And if any of you puts this on social media, I will sue you for defamation. She turns back to Mama, breathing hard. If you ever call my husband's rich friends your children again, she sneers, I will personally put you on a bus back to that gutter you came from. Mama's lips tremble, words dying in her throat. She bows her head. I am sorry, she repeats, voice barely audible. Phones lower. Conversations restart, nervous and forced. The DJ, unsure, slowly turns the music up again. From the corridor behind them, a new sound cuts through the beat. The click of the front door opening.
Tunde's taxi pulled away from the curb, leaving him standing outside the building with a small gift bag in his hand. He could already hear the bass vibrating through the walls. Laughter drifted down the stairwell. He smiled to himself. Sade will be happy I made it, he thought. Maybe Mama managed to enjoy some of the party too. He climbed the stairs 2 at a time, excitement propelling him upward. As he reached their floor, someone opened the neighbor's door. The smell of jollof and fried plantain wafted out, but he barely noticed. He slipped his key into his own door and turned it quietly. The music hit him first, loud and heavy. Then came the voices, layered and messy. Filthy village woman, my Instagram story. He frowned. He stepped inside and closed the door softly. From the corridor, he heard Sade's voice clearly now, cutting through the music like a knife. You belong in the backyard, not in my life. His heart dropped. He moved forward slowly, every step heavy. At the end of the corridor, the wall opened into the living room. He stopped just short of the corner, shadows hiding him. Through the gap, he saw the scene. His mother on her knees, her cheek red, eyes swollen with tears. Sade towering above her, chest heaving, friends watching in stunned silence. Tunde's world narrowed to that one image. The gift bag slipped from his fingers and hit the floor with a soft thud no one heard. Inside his chest, something cracked. The music faded abruptly as the DJ, sensing wrong vibes, lowered the volume. Tunde stepped into the living room, face pale, eyes burning. What, he said quietly, is going on here? Heads turned, Shade whipped around, her mouth falling open. But, baby, she stammered, you're home early. I thought your presentation. He didn't look at her. His gaze was fixed on his mother. Mama Tunde struggled to her feet, leaning against a chair for support. Tunde, she whispered, trying to smile. You came. He moved toward her, voice shaking. Who slapped you? He demanded. Tell me now. Shade rushed forward, tears already streaming. It was a mistake, she cried. She insulted me in front of everyone. She tried to disgrace me. I lost my temper. I'm so sorry. Mama? Tunde repeated, ignoring her. Talk to me. What happened? Mama looked from her son's furious eyes to Shade's panicked ones. She thought of the prayers in her small room, the fear of breaking her son's marriage, the years of sacrifice. If she told the truth now, what would happen? Would his home shatter? Would people say she hates her daughter-in-law? She swallowed hard. Nothing, she whispered. Just small argument. I was stubborn. I came out when she told me to stay inside. She only corrected me. Shade blinked, shocked that Mama was protecting her. Tunde frowned deeply. Slap is correction? He asked, voice low. You are trembling. Your face is red. Mama forced a laugh that sounded more like a sob. You know old skin, she said. Small touch, it shakes. Don't quarrel because of me. Today's your wife's day. Let her enjoy. Shade clung to his arm. Baby, please forgive me, she sniffed. I didn't want you to see this. I love Mama. The pressure of hosting. Guests shuffled awkwardly toward the door. Tunde, we will be going, one colleague muttered. Happy birthday, Shade. One by one, they slipped out, carrying the scandal in their whispers. Tunde looked at his wife, then at his mother again.
He felt like someone standing between two mirrors, seeing reflections of stories that didn't match. "Party is over," he said finally, his voice dull. "Everybody go home." The DJ switched off the music. When the last guest left, silence settled heavy in the room. Mama tried to retreat to her room, but Tunde gently took her hand. "Rest, Mama," he said softly. "We will talk tomorrow." She nodded quickly, eager to disappear. Shade reached for him again. "Baby, you believe me, right?" she pleaded. "She even called your friends her children in front of everyone. I couldn't take it." Tunde's eyes were dark. "I don't know what I believe yet, but I know what I saw." He walked past her into the bedroom, closing the door firmly. Shade stood alone in the living room, heart pounding. She thought the worst was over. It had only just begun.
The next morning, Lagos woke up to another humid day. Sade sat on the edge of the bed, eyes swollen from fake and real tears. Tunde had slept on the couch, his back turned to her world. He left early for work without a kiss. By late afternoon, she paced the living room anxiously, phone in hand. A knock sounded at the door. Expecting a delivery, she opened it carelessly. Cola stood there, cap in hand, expression serious for once. "Come in," she snapped. "You came to gossip about last night, Abi?" He shook his head. "I came to see Tunde," he said. "Is he around?" "He's at work," she replied quickly. "Tell me what you want." Cola glanced toward Mama's closed door, then back at Sade. "Fine," he murmured. "Just tell him I passed by." He turned to go, then hesitated. "You know I record everything, right?" he added quietly. "Yesterday was plenty." Sade stiffened. "You better not post anything," she warned. "If you spoil my name online." Cola raised both hands. "I'm not stupid," he said, "but I'm not wicked either. That man respects you. He deserves truth." Later that evening, Tunde returned, shoulders slumped with exhaustion. As he approached the building, he saw Cola waiting near the gate. "Bro," Cola called softly, "I need to show you something." They sat on a low wall away from ears. Cola pulled out his phone, opened the gallery, and tapped a video. On the small screen, the living room came alive again. Sade shouting, Mama kneeling, the slap, the insults, the threats, every word, every expression captured in cold digital clarity. Tunde watched in stunned silence, his jaw clenched, fists curling at his sides. When the video ended, his eyes shimmered, not with weakness, but with a pain so sharp it stole his breath. Cola cleared his throat. "I didn't know it would go that far," he muttered. "I thought it was just drama, but when I saw Mama crying in her room after, I couldn't sleep." He looked at Tunde sincerely. "I know it's not my place," he said, "but that woman does not deserve what she's getting. Whatever you decide, at least decide with your eyes open." Tunde nodded slowly, the world tilting around him. "Thank you," he managed. As he walked up the stairs to his apartment, his steps felt heavier than ever. He was about to confront a storm inside his own home.
2 days later, the apartment looked almost normal again, but the air inside felt different, thicker, charged. Sade sat on the sofa, dressed modestly this time, hands clenched in her lap. Mama Tunde sat on a plastic chair near the wall, eyes downcast. The doorbell rang. Tunde opened it to admit Pastor Daniel from their church and Auntie Bisi, his father's elder sister. "Good evening," Pastor greeted. "Peace of God be in this house." "Amen," Mama whispered. Sade forced a smile. "Pastor, Auntie Bisi, welcome," she said. "Is everything okay?" Tunde's face was expressionless. "Sit," he told them. Once everyone settled, he connected his phone to the TV, just like Kwesi had done weeks earlier in another story across town. "I called you because I need witnesses," he said quietly. "What you are about to see is not drama, it is my reality." Sade's pulse kicked. "Tunde, what are you doing?" she asked. He pressed play. The living room watched itself on the screen. Sade grabbing Mama, screaming, insulting, slapping her, calling her filthy village woman. The sound filled the real room, echoing off the same walls. Shade squeezed her eyes shut. Mama covered her mouth, reliving the humiliation. Auntie Bisi gasped, hand flying to her chest. "Shade," she cried, "you did this to your husband's mother?" Pastor Daniel's face hardened, sorrow and anger mingling. When the video ended, Tunde paused it on Shade's furious face, frozen mid-insult. Silence fell. Shade began to cry, tears streaming freely now. "It was a mistake," she sobbed. "I was under pressure. The party, the guests, she disobeyed me." Pastor raised his hand for quiet. "Nothing justifies this," he said firmly. "The Bible says, honor your father and mother so that your days may be long. That includes your in-laws. This is not correction. This is abuse." Auntie Bisi turned to Mama. "Sister, why didn't you tell us?" she asked, voice shaking. Mama shook her head, tears falling. "I didn't want to scatter their home," she whispered. "I wanted my son to have peace, even if my heart suffered." Tunde swallowed, throat tight. "I brought you here because my judgment alone might be clouded by anger," he said to Pastor and Auntie. "Tell me, if this was your mother, what would you do?"
Pastor Daniel leaned forward, hands clasped. "Marriage is sacred," he began slowly. "But so is the command to honor the ones who gave us life. We do not protect marriages by allowing evil inside them. We correct, we discipline, we set boundaries." He looked at Shade. "My daughter," he said, "do you truly understand what you did?" Shade sniffed loudly, nodding. "I was wrong," she said. "I let pride and shame control me. Mama, I am sorry. Please forgive me." She slid to the sofa to kneel in front of Mama. Mama hesitated, torn between compassion and pain. Auntie Bisi shook her head. "Sorry is good," she said, "but there must be change, real change. You cannot call someone mama in the kitchen and house help in public." Tunde's eyes were rimmed red, but his voice was steady. "Tunde," he said, "from the day we married, I gave you my heart. But I never gave you permission to trample on the heart that carried me for 9 months, that hawked akara in traffic so I could go to school." He paused, fighting back tears. "I cannot stay married to a woman who humiliates my mother like an enemy," he continued. "Not now, maybe not ever." Shade's breath hitched. "Tunde, please," she begged, clutching his trousers. "Give me another chance. Send me to counseling. Punish me, but don't send me away. People will laugh at me." He gently removed her hands from his legs. "People can laugh," he said quietly. "They didn't sit in that small room and hear my mother cry at night. From today, you will pack your things and go back to your father's house. We will separate legally. Later, if God leads, we may discuss divorce." Shade wailed. Pastor nodded solemnly. "Consequences are sometimes the only teachers we respect," he said. Tunde turned to his mother. "Mama," he said, eyes softening, "I am sorry I didn't see sooner. I betrayed your sacrifices without knowing. Please forgive me." She reached out, pulling him into an embrace with her thin arms. "I forgive you before you even asked," she whispered. "You have come back. That is enough." Pastor rose. "Before Shade leaves," he said, "she must do one more thing." He looked at her. "You will apologize to Mama, not with Instagram, but with your knees and your mouth. And you will allow Tunde to share that video in any elder abuse awareness program he chooses, so that others will fear to do the same." Shade hesitated, shame burning her cheeks, but she lowered herself fully, pressing her forehead to the floor in front of Mama. "Please," she sobbed, "forgive me. I thought I was protecting my image. I forgot you are a human being, not a stain on my brand." Mama's tears fell onto Shade's hair. "I pray God will teach you real beauty," she said softly. "I forgive you, but I am going with my son." Months later, the camera opens on a lively street corner in Lagos. Children laugh and chase each other.
The scent of frying oil and pepper fills the air. Under a blue umbrella, a bright new akara stand stands out. A sign above it reads, Mama T's Crunchy Akara since 1995, upgraded. Behind the stand, Mama Tunde, now in a clean, colorful apron, drops spoonfuls of butter into hot oil. The balls sizzle and puff up golden. Tunde stands beside her in a branded polo shirt, handling mobile payments on a tablet, smiling as he serves customers. So you rebranded it into a proper business, one neighbor says, impressed. From street hawker to official supplier. Tunde laughs. I only added technology, he replies. The real brand is her recipe and her heart. Mama glances at him, eyes shining. See this, my son, she says to a customer. Before, I used to carry akara on my head. Now he says my akara will travel the whole world in freezer packs. They share a warm laugh. Across the street, Shede walks past alone, carrying a cheap handbag, clothes plain. She pauses for a moment, watching them from a distance. Regret softens her features, but she turns away, swallowed by the crowd. The narrator's voice returns, calm and reflective. Not every woman who marries into wealth is wicked, and not every mother-in-law is innocent. But when we let pride guide our actions, we can lose the very blessings we were fighting to protect. Shede believed a simple village woman could stain her image. She forgot that no soft life caption shines brighter than genuine humility. She locked Mama Tunde away from the party, but in the end, she locked herself out of the very family she wanted to claim. The camera lingers on Tunde and his mother again. Tunde learned a hard truth, the voice says. A marriage that demands you dishonor your parents is not peace. Real love never asks you to spit on the hands that wiped your tears as a child. The narrator turns to the listener. What about you? If you caught your husband or wife insulting your mother in secret, what would you do? Would you keep quiet to protect the marriage, or would you protect the one who protected you first? Share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. Where are you watching from? Lagos, Accra, Abuja, London, Toronto, New York, Johannesburg, or any city in the world? Type your location below. Let's see how far our African story family has reached. And if stories like this touched your heart, stories that remind us never to trade our parents' dignity for social media applause, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone who needs the warning. Money can buy ring lights and fancy cakes, but it cannot buy a new mother. Protect the ones who suffered for you, because when the music stops and the cameras go dark, the only people still standing beside you will be those who loved you before you had anything to offer. The camera slowly pulls back from the akara stand as evening light bathes mother and son in warm gold. They laugh together, serving customers side by side. No marble floors, no sparkling chandelier, just oil, smoke, and a love strong enough to survive Lagos itself.